Welcome back, eSIM Studios podcast live stream episode number 71. I hope everybody that's joining us today has had a eventful, safe, and enjoyable. What is this? Friday afternoon. Damn, I was about to say Monday. Friday afternoon. Yes, as you can tell, my days are all messed up. Very busy over here. Typically, before we get started, we have big news today. As you can tell from the thumbnail, huge. Just the news I was looking for. Because earlier today I was like, damn, I don't really see much of the news. It's like the last 2 days I was really searching for some technology news here. But sure enough, it hit. I want to give a shout out to Flossy Carter. Check his YouTube channel out. I believe I have it linked below in our description. The best tech YouTuber on the planet. That's right. I said it. We're number 2. Flossy Carter, definitely the big boss in town when it comes to technology on YouTube. But we will be there someday. I think he's got 2 million subscribers, but we'll be there someday. We got big stuff popping here in the background. We do give some announcements and some background information before we hit the news. Websites, applications, still in development. This stuff takes a little longer than, I previously thought. Now, I am working on this basically by myself. I do have one other person that's assisting me, but I'm doing all the heavy lifting, but we got big stuff going now. Oh yes, we have big news here coming up. So bear with me just for a second, and we'll jump into it. We'll let some more people roll in here. I just sent the link out for viewers. If you're watching this, I'm live streaming across like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 different platforms. A bunch of YouTube channels that I have and own and operate, plus a Instagram channel. We have big stuff coming. So I'm working on 1, 2, 3 applications, Android and iOS, and a bunch of websites. So we have something cooking up that will incorporate this channel as well, as a bunch of some other possible channels here on YouTube. But if you want tech news, we have tech news websites where we're making tech news applications, and we're going to make a all-purpose application and website, mainly focusing on sports, entertainment, all the above. So that'll probably launch here in the next couple of weeks. I'm ready to submit our apps to the Play Store, but they said it takes up to 2 weeks to approve. So I went ahead and getting ready to submit that. So we have big stuff coming, right? Just hang in there with us, and we will all go on this wild ride together, right? What else we got going on today? We're heading into the weekend. Let's see. I know there's that one big news. Let me do this. I almost forgot. I want to thank everybody listening, specifically in the Philippines, Indonesia, where we're all the way up to number 26. Number 26. In the tech podcast world, right? Not number the 26th biggest podcast on the planet, I wish, or the 26th biggest podcast in Indonesia, I wish, but the 26th biggest, or I guess how do they measure that? Most viewed, or most clicked on, or most played, or download? I don't know. I guess I could look into it further, but I just checked earlier today. We're up to number 26 on tech podcasts in Indonesia. So thank you very much, everybody listening around the world. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I was blown away when I got that news a couple weeks ago, and actually has gotten better. So thank you for hanging in there with us, right? I pride myself on being a non-scripted tech YouTube channel, which is kind of hard to believe nowadays, because literally any tech channel you click on, whether it's a review or of a new phone, or they're reviewing Wi-Fi, how to, whatever. 99% of those are scripted, and I wanted to do something a little different, right? It's hard to, for me personally, it's hard to believe what somebody's telling me when they're told to read something, right? And that's what I tell a lot of my sponsors. I have Crave down. I know Crave is watching. I was going to put them out today or this week. I do apologize. I already got a couple recorded, and we'll start uploading tomorrow. So Crave case reviews, but like I was saying, I let them know right off the bat. The only thing I ask is, is there a promo code you want me to present to the viewers? Is there anything like that you want me to say? But I'll let them know right off the bat. I don't really do scripts. Like I'll have my little notes off to the side when I'm reviewing something, but I'm not just gonna sit there and read something. It doesn't sound. Oh, Auntie. Oh, hey, what's up, Ashton? Actually, both of y'all. I have your routers, and I've been so busy this week. I've been like a crazed scientist, locked in the house, or locked in the basement. I don't think I've left the house. I'm like locked in my studio here, right? Making websites, trying to get these apps submitted to that Play Store. I got to run errands tomorrow. So I have your routers boxed up, ready to go, and I'm going to drop them off tomorrow. So I was hoping y'all would show up so I could let you know what was going on, but I got them. They're in my trunk. I got to run errands tomorrow, and I will drop them off tomorrow. So I appreciate it. Yes, thank you very much for joining. And that's the other thing. After I get done with reviewing these Crave cases, we'll do giveaways with those too, right? We'll do giveaway with those too. So we are here for the viewer. Okay, big news today. Before I forget, see, it might be a good thing I have bullet points off to the side, because I keep on forgetting to mention this. You can find us on any podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, application, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, YouTube Music, any podcast platform. Simply search eSIM Studios, and we will pop up. So you can take us anywhere. If you're running errands tomorrow like I am, you can take us on the go as well. Of course, that's a good thing about YouTube Premium. I've had YouTube Premium for years. I think when they first introduced it, I got it, right? And I literally forgot. If you don't have YouTube Premium, when you're watching a video, right? I'm like over here, I have myself here. If you have just the free version of YouTube and you turn the screen off, the video will stop. I forgot that, because I was on one of my accounts that I'm not signed up to YouTube Premium, and I turned the screen off, put it in my pocket. I was going to listen to something while I was doing a couple things around the house, and it stopped playing. I was like, what the hell? And it dawned on me, that must be for premium only, where you can listen to it in the play. What does it play in background play? Anyways, good. That's one good thing about listening to us on podcast. You can stick it in your pocket and take us on the go. All right, so big news today. Let me pull this up. We got our very first look. Man, I cannot wait for this to come out. Very first look at the brand new Pixel 9 Pro. That's right, Pixel 9 Pro. Now, this is the, if you remember, I got pictures here I'm pulling up. This year, Google is going to release, well, I guess they're going to release four Pixel 9 series. Now, in the past, they just released two. Like this past year, it would just release a bigger Pixel and then a small Pixel. Now, the big one was spec'd out. All the specs, all the bells and whistles, right? A smaller one, it's kind of watered down. It really didn't have the best specs. Definitely didn't have the specs that the big one had. This year, they're going to release a small one with the watered down specs, a little cheaper. And then they're going to release a high performance small one, if that makes sense. And they're going to release a big one. So they're not just going to have a small one that's kind of meh, and then a real good one, big one. They're going to have a really good spec'd out big one and a really good spec'd out small one. And then they're going to have a entry level one, right? Pixel 9. The one we got in, the fourth one is going to be the Fold, right? Remember they changed the name from Pixel Fold 2 to, what is it? Pixel... They change stuff all the time. Pixel 9. Y'all might help me out in the comments. Pixel, I think I got it here. It's the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I think. Something like that. But that'll be technically the fourth Pixel released, which they've never done. And if you watched our last show, I think next year on the Pixel 10 series is when they're going to incorporate a fifth Pixel. It's one we all know. It's the smaller A series. But if you remember, that one is released off schedule as well. That one's released, I think, around Google I/O, which is in May. So I think next year on Pixel 10 is when they're going to release all of their phones all in one day. Now, this year, which one do you think better, the Notes or the Pixel? The Notes hold hella memory. Yeah. I'm torn between the two, and it really like the advice that I give really depends on who's asking. If it's like my parents, a little older, or if it's somebody coming from an iPhone, I say Pixel. Because it's basically and I hate to use this comparison, it's basically the iPhone of Android. It's simple, it's easy, it's very basic, but very smooth, very easy to operate, right? Samsung is like who I would recommend for the hardcore tech person, the person that loves to tinker with stuff, right? Edit photos and do all sorts of cool, not that you can't do that with Pixel, but look, with the Samsung, you get the pen, or well, at least with the Ultra, you get the pen. Their Photos app the Samsung app, Gallery app, does come with some extra editing features that Pixel does not have. Tons of settings. You can basically modify and change every single thing on this phone. Pixel, you cannot. But that's almost for a good reason, right? Because Pixel is meant to be nice and easy. Pixel is supposed to be the standard, depending on who you ask, but I think they present the Pixel and the Pixel operating system as like the standard of how their version, Google's version of Android should be. Nice, smooth, easy to operate. Again, it has its pros and cons because it is so simple, but that's why I recommend it for iPhone users that always ask me, well, if I do want to switch to Android, there's so many choices, I don't know what to get. I said, just get a Pixel, and that's because if you go to Samsung, there's so many settings. Sometimes I even get lost in the settings app. There's so many settings, so many toggles, so many things you can modify. It does get a little intimidating to some, But that's why I say it depends on who asks, right? Yes. Now this year, it looks like the Pixel is going to have a memory improvement. Now with the memory that I have on here, this specific setup on the S24 Ultra, it comes stock with 12 gigs of RAM, 12 gigabytes of RAM. You can add an extra 8 gigabytes virtual RAM, basically borrowing 8 gigs from your internal memory, and they will allocate that to the RAM memory, just so you can have a little better, smoother operating system, smoother performance if you're a heavy user like I am. So this basically has 20 gigs of RAM, and I think this is the 512 gig variant, but it goes all the way up to 1 terabyte, I believe. Lots of memory. Now, on this new Pixel we did get a sneak peek of what kind of memory they're going to be dealing with here. So let me pull up these pictures. Let me shut up and pull up these pictures. That's a good question, though. Let's see here. Where are we? I just uploaded them here. Okay. So, can y'all still hear me? Let's see. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, I think y'all can hear me. All right, so check this out. So this is the Pixel 9 Pro. So this is going to be a small Pixel that's going to have the same specs, the bells and whistles. It'll have the best of the best that they have to offer will be in this small phone. Now, it's been forever since Google offered a flagship top-of-the-line phone in a small form factor, if that makes sense. All of their small phones typically have been less than their premium counterpart. I don't know why. I know a lot of people that want a small phone that's spec'd out, meaning it's got the best of the best in it. It's just in a little smaller form factor, but it looks freaking awesome. So it looks pretty similar, well, exactly similar to the computer-aided design, the CAD images that were leaked out even a month or two ago. So it's going to have flat sides, thank God. It's going to have a flat front, flat back. And it's going to have that really, really cool camera island on the top right of your screen that covers the sensors, and it does not wrap around to the edges like on the current Pixel 8 model. But if you can see the middle phone that has the screen facing us, that's all black. I think I need to zoom. Can I zoom in? Like, damn it, I can't. Hang on, I wonder if I can get a picture. Let me upload a picture of this zoomed in, because it does provide some good details of the internals of the hardware, what that this small phone is going to have. Let's see here. Let's blow this picture up. Give me 1 second. I'm on my other monitor. Alright, I'm downloading the zoomed in photo, and let me upload it into StreamYard real quick. I should have done this before, but let's see, here we go. Okay. Saved that. Now let me upload it. Add overlay. Where is that damn thing? Here it is. All right, it's uploading right now. Check this out. So it's got the specs, but it's zoomed in. So this is the bootloader screen from the Pixel 9 Pro. The fast boot. This is like before your phone, like when you restart your phone, before it boots into the operating system, it has like a fast boot mode where you can flash another firmware, or it's like basically for developers. If you're testing a phone or testing an application, or you want to flash something, a zip file, what have you, but it'll give you the quick specs of the phone. So even if you cannot get to the operating system, let's say you brick your phone when you're trying to put a custom operating system on there, you can tell at least what model this is. It gives you the basics, right? So let's look at it. So you get the name of the device, the Cayman. Now they have the bootloader. Look, some of these are going to be blurred out simply because whoever leaked this info could get in trouble, because Google knows. You see where that serial number is blacked out or white out. Google knows what device they give to what people, basically for testing, right? It's probably an employee's phone. It's probably it's definitely an employee's phone, because a Google employee, because it's too early for them to send out these phones to these case makers to start making cases. I mean, look, that's normal procedure for Samsung, for Google, even for Apple. They will send out right before the phone launches, right? So let's say, what's today, the April 19th. Let's say a new phone, let's say iPhone was going to release their new iPhone SE 4, which is going to be released soon, but not that soon. But let's just say the iPhone SE 4, the new one, is going to release on May 1st, right? So that would be what, in 10 days, babe, roughly 9 or 10 days. So that's perfect time. So what Apple would do is they would send out an SE a phone, one of their new phones that they're about to launch, send them to the case makers, because that's how, when you search for cases on launch day, whenever you buy your phone in the very first day, that's why when you go to Amazon and you search for cases, that's why there's already cases available for the iPhone SE 4, because Spigen has had the phone for a week or two and has gotten the mold and has gotten the case ready on the very same day that the phone is ready. However, in this specific case, this phone, this Pixel 9 Pro, is not going to be released for another, let's see, I think we're in a projected launch date for this Pixel 9 series is going to be mid-October, mid to early October. Probably the first week of October. So that's still, 4 or 5 months away, right? So that's way too early for them to be sending out these phones to case manufacturers. So this is an employee's phone, a Google employee, and they write down the IMEI number, and they also, when they issue these devices to test, they also write down the serial number. So if that serial number was not blocked, Google could find this leak and basically go record the serial number that's being shown, and then go back into their database and be like, oh, serial number XYJ24769B was given to Taylor Bell. That MFer, he's fired on Monday morning. Yeah, that's it happens. That's why it's blurred out. I guarantee you somebody offered him or her probably 10 racks, probably 10 grand to take the picture and leak it, because that's what TMZ does, right? For their leaked photos of celebrities, or they got The Rock dressed up in pantyhose, playing with a 12-inch cucumber. You know what I'm saying? Like, TMZ will pay for that if somebody has a real photo. In the tech world, it's no different. So I don't know who released this. Actually, you know what? It was somebody on... It was weird because I got the photos with the watermark on it. And the first thing I did is took the watermark off. But it was somebody from Telegram. So it wasn't like Android Authority. or Android Central that paid this employee 10 grand for a couple of photos. It was somebody on Telegram, which I think is weird, which makes me wonder, well, I don't know, but let's look at these stats, right? That's why it was leaked. Let's look at these stats. Secure boot, it's in production. Okay, so it's ready for production. DRAM, so this is how much RAM is going to come with this. LDDR5 RAM. That's big time. That's very good. It's the latest and greatest RAM. 16 gigabytes of RAM. That's huge. That would be the first time Google was stuck on 8 gigs of RAM for a few generations. Actually, they were stuck on 4 gigs of RAM for all their phones for 4 or 5 years. Forever. It seemed like forever they were stuck on 4 gigs of RAM. I could not wait until they increased it. I think the Pixel, I don't know what the Pixel 5 was. Maybe it was still 8. I believe it was still 8. No, excuse me. I believe it was I think the Pixel 5 is when they increased it to 8 gigs of RAM from 4, right? So even the Nexus series. So those of you that don't know, Google had a phone even before the Pixel, which was called Nexus. Now, Nexus was more geared towards, they sold to the public, and they were badass phones for that time, right? But it was more of a developer phone. They were made of plastic. They were, I loved them. But then that's when they moved to Pixel to be a more premium device to compete against the iPhone, Samsungs of the world, but mainly iPhone. My point is, they were stuck on 4 gigs of RAM forever. Even back into the Nexus days, up until like the Pixel 5, I think is when they switched to 8 gigs of RAM. Going into the Pixel 6 series, they bumped it to 12 gigs of RAM. And that blew everybody's mind. I was obviously excited and happy, but I was like, holy shit, I can't believe Google is moving up to the big boys. Now, they were packing their phones with 12 gigs of RAM since, let's see, Pixel 6, Pixel 7, and Pixel 8. So that's 3 years. Now, they're going to bump that up to 16 gigs of RAM. Hey, that's badass. The more the merrier. Like I said, my Samsung S24 Ultra has got 12 gigs, and then I added 8 virtual RAM, so it's basically got 20 gigs of RAM. Now, there's one thing on here that disappoints me. And, it is what it is. Look right under that. 16 gigabytes. Look right under that, where the UFS storage is. Now, we don't get the UFS storage version, which hopefully they'll move to 4, or at least 4.0. This is still going to come with 128 gigabytes of internal storage. So the RAM is a big number that a lot of people overlook, because it helps the usability of your phone when you have a ton of apps open in the background. Like for me, a heavy multitasker, where I could have 30, 35 apps open in the background all at once. I still need my phone to operate like it's brand new. And that's what a lot of RAM gives you. But 128 gigs, I can blow through that in probably 2 months or a month. Look, the apps and everything I have on my phone right now is way over 128 gigs, and that's not even including photos and stuff. So it looks like this will be the base model. The base offering will be for the Pixel 9 Pro, will be 16 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. We were hoping that Google would graduate the Pixel line, similar to what Samsung did with their S24 series, kick to the curb that 128 storage variant and just move on to 256 for the base model, because the way we're moving in tech, the apps continue to get bigger, the data continues to get bigger, and you will blow through that in no time. So I guess we have to wait one more year for them to graduate to a base storage level of 256. But look, it is what it is. Beggars cannot be choosers. All I know is that they will offer more, right? So they'll offer the 16 gigs of RAM base, but instead of 128, obviously they'll give you an option. I'm sure you can do 256, 512. I don't know if they're bringing a 1 terabyte model this year, but it will be interesting to see, because well, shit, I just lost my train of thought. But let's look at the other one. Device state, it is unlocked, meaning it's not locked to a carrier. It is unlocked. Bootloader is unlocked. Boot slot A. Any reason boot failure. You are disabled under. Okay. So that was the big news on the RAM. So kind of went off on a tangent on that. But just to clear all that up, they are going to increase the RAM on the base model. They're not going to increase the storage on the base model, because that was something that was tossed around for the last few weeks as well. Hopefully they will offer I know they will, a 512 variant. We will have to wait and see if they offer a 1 terabyte, which I never thought I could ever get up. I never saw the point in buying a 1 terabyte model phone, but literally in these last few months, I'm strongly considering it. Now, here's the thing. I don't hold on to my phone long enough for it to hit 1 terabyte. The longest I hold on to mine are like about a year, and then I'm, moving on to the next, the latest and greatest. Whenever the new model comes out, that's what I'll get. So I don't think, that's why I don't know if I ever will. Who knows? In 10 years from now, shit, I might need one. But right now, I think the most I've used is like 600 something, and that's a lot too. That's a lot of storage. Because, well, it's a long story. I'm not going to, because I bet you're probably wondering, well, if you have a 512 variant, how'd you get up to 600? Well, anyways, I backed up my data, wiped it, stored it. Well, I guess I backed up my data, stored it, and then wiped the phone. And then I had an extra 100 something gigs that I was using. So technically I had 600 gigs of storage from one phone. But anyways, let's look at the other pictures. I'm enough talking, right? There we go. So that goes back to the original photo that we saw. But let's look at these other ones compared to an iPhone. So we have the Pixel 9 Pro. Remember, this is the small one. I think this is going to be, I think this is 6.1 inches or 6.08 inches, I believe. Let's see. What does Caleb say? My 120 gig pixelated, already running low on storage. I'm planning on getting the 512 next time. Yeah, that's a big jump. Depending on how long you plan on keeping your phone. Because I could see you possibly getting away with upgrading to the 256 gig. But I think a 512 might be a good choice. The sizes of applications, the size of the app data continually gets bigger every year. And I can see, yeah, because look, and it sucks. It really, really sucks when you reach your limit, because you're basically not able to do anything. Like, you can't even update your apps. You can't take photos. The apps that you currently have on your phone, some of them won't work because they need to use some of that data. It is a pain in the ass. And then it's not like back in the day where you can back up, do a true backup, right? Back in the day when you could root phones. What was that? There was a famous, titanium backup. So if any of y'all that were from the XDA developer website page days. It's like a famous, not necessarily a hacking website, but they would have a guides and forums of how to flash or modify your software on your mobile device. The titanium backup feature, if you rooted your phone, it was freaking awesome. Because now, you know how you back up your phone? And it'll back up the app name, right? And the apps maybe that are on your phone. But when you transfer from an old phone to a new phone, remember, you still have to sign in. When you go to your new phone, the apps you used to use might still be there, but you got to sign into all your bank apps. You got to sign into your everything you think of, right? So it's technically not a full or complete backup, but nowadays I'm saying it's not. Back in the day with titanium backup, if you had a rooted phone, you could back your phone up, all of its storage, all of its data, all its apps, everything, 100%. And then you could upload that, because once you install a new ROM, it wipes you the memory. So after you install the new ROM, you download titanium backup, you go grab your cloud storage, it downloads your downloaded file onto your phone, and then you run the restore, and every single application works as normal. You don't even have to sign into any apps. It works just like it was supposed to before you wiped your phone or installed that ROM, right? Nowadays, can't do that anymore. And I get it for security reasons, but okay, I appreciate Caleb. I really appreciate it, brother. Remember, you can always hit the replay. We're going to talk some more about pixels and pixel stuff. So thank you very much for joining us. It means a lot. Remember, you can always hit the replay. You can always come back and rewatch this later. So I appreciate it. Please stay safe out there, and have a good rest of the Friday. Join us tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm going to do a giveaway. So join me tomorrow. We'll do another giveaway tomorrow. I think I have another router left, so I'll do a community post when I'm going to schedule it, but we will do a giveaway tomorrow. Appreciate it, Caleb. So this is the small Pixel 9 Pro in the big iPhone. What is that? 15 Pro Max, I believe. So it doesn't look all that much smaller, but what is the iPhone Pro Max size? That is a good question. All right, man. You too. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Let's see. Let's see, iPhone 15 Pro Max. So the 15 Pro Max has a 6.7 inch display. Okay, so the Pixel 9 Pro, let's see, I believe it's not, I believe it's 6.1. Let's see. So the 6.1 inch Pixel 9 Pro, right next to the, what the hell is going on with my computer? There we go. And then you get the front. And if you're wondering, it does have some plastic on the device. The Pixel 9 Pro still has some plastic on the front that needs to be peeled. And the Pixel 9 Pro on the back that might need to be a little more peeled as well. Let's see here. What else? Let's see. Bear with me. No dead air. Hang on. So the other pictures that I got are. Now, wait till you see these sides. See, there's the watermark that I crossed or removed earlier, but this is from the side. So on the left side, what you're looking at is the front on the front of the Pixel 9 Pro, which is the device on the left. And then you still get the screen size comparison with the iPhone 15 Pro Max that is on the right side of those two phones. Now on the right side of the photo, you get either side. I know there's a lot of sides here. You get either side of the Pixel 9 Pro. So we have one picture sort of in the middle that has the Pixel 9 Pro's power button, volume rocker, and you get that camera hump on the right side. So the power button and volume button appear to remain the same. Where's my Pixel at? Damn, I wish I could zoom in here. Maybe you can and I'm just an idiot, I don't know. The power button appears to be a little bit raised, a little bit higher, which is probably a good thing. Interesting. Volume looks about the same. And then you get a look at on the very right side. You get the left side of the Pixel 9 Pro. That side will be completely flat and or flush. There is nothing on that side. Now, a lot of phone manufacturers will put the power button on one side and the volume button on the other side. Buttons. Pixel, that's not the case. They throw everything all on one side and then leave the complete opposite side blank. Samsung has got, take that back, Samsung's got power and volume on the same side. Let's see, Nothing Phone 2, power and volume is on both sides. Nothing Phone 2A, both sides. So interesting there. That's nothing new really, right? And then let's see what else we got. I don't know, there's maybe one or two more. Okay, sorry about that. I don't believe I do have any more pictures. I thought I had one or... You know what? I do. I just found them. Sorry. So, here's a more clear look, a better image, right? So, here you get on the right side, you got the very bottom. You have the bottom of the Pixel 9 Pro. So you have the power USB Type-C, power delivery slot, however you want to put it, where your power cable connects. And then above that you have your microphone, and above that you have your SIM slot where you put your SIM card at. So they're not going copycat iPhone and do eSIM only. You will still be able to put a SIM card in your device if you're getting a Pixel 9 series this year. Now let's go below the power button. Let's go below the power cable input, right? I guess, is that what you call it? Yeah. Okay. You see that long strip? So look where you plug your phone in, right? Smack dab in the middle of the phone on the right side. See that where you put the power cable into? Now look below that. You see that long slit? Okay, so it's not technically supposed to be that long. Here's what happened. When I was editing, it's probably supposed to be like half that. And that's a speaker. So they're going to put a speaker in there. Where's my current phone? So look. You see those slits on the bottom? Now what's interesting is they're not only going to have one slot right there. Now they fool you because on here you see two slits on the bottom. You're thinking, well, cool, this has got like dual speakers. No, only one actually has a speaker in there. The other one, they hide the microphone in there. So why use a big ass slit when all you need is a little dot? You know, so that's what they're changing on the upcoming Pixel 9 series. Just one slit, I guess. I don't know what's going on with my words today. One slit, not two, but that's what it is. Now you see how long they are? You see the little distance? It's maybe a quarter inch or 3/8 of an inch, something like that. No more than half an inch long. Now look at this. See how long that one is? So actually what happened when I was editing the photo, these came with watermarks on there. Well, I don't want to have watermarks on my pictures. So I did a little tomfoolery, a little wizardry, and I removed the watermark with a little Harry Potter wand behind my desk here. I just had some little Harry Potter magic trick, and the watermarks evaporated. Now it did mess up the slit because it's supposed to be half that length. I think the AI just filled in there's a mistake on their part, so it's definitely not going to be that long. Because I was looking at it like, holy shit, that's a long ass speaker, and I was like, there's no way it's going to be that long. And then I looked at some other photos and I was like, oh yeah, the AI messed that up when they were removing the watermark. And then you can tell it's got the little hole right above the power cable, right above the power outlet. That's what's in your home. I apologize. I don't know what's going on with my vocabulary today. Let's see what else we got. We've seen that right side. It's just a little more clear. We've seen that left side. It's just a little more clear. Now look at the top. Second from the left side. So not the one where you can see the dude's hand on the left, right? But the one just to the right of it where you see the very top. Interesting. So what do we have there? It looks like... Now at first glance, I was like, where's the other microphone? Because on a lot of these phones now, they have 3. I think the average amount of microphones is 3. So when you're on a call, picks up your voice, right? When you're holding it up to your face, or on speaker, or when you're recording a video. Many of them now, yes, believe it or not, they all used to come with just one microphone. I know it's hard to believe. Now I think my Samsung has 4. Let's see. It's got 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom. That's 3. Yeah, it does have 4, and then there's 1 on the back. This Pixel 8 Pro that I have in my hand has got 1 at the bottom, 1 at the top, And that is it. So only 2 microphones. However, recording audio on my Pixel is night and day difference, better than any other phone I've used. I might revisit that tomorrow and show you what a video sounds like without a microphone, just holding a phone up to your face, recording a video. The Google Pixel audio is unbeatable. It is night and day difference. So I don't know what the hell they're doing with their audio with only 2 mics, while Samsung cannot do with 4. But hey, it works, right? So look, we got that 1 mic at the bottom on the very, very right. And then let's go back to the top. You see what that top is? Now look, at first glance, it looks like there's not a mic. So I'm like, well, what is going on here? But look towards the bottom where that plastic wrap is. The microphone's kind of hidden underneath that glare of the plastic wrap. So it is there if you can barely see it. And it looks like it's similar-y. It looks like it's in a similar position. See, there we go. Because look, let me show you what my Pixel 8 Pro looks like. So if it's held... Okay, so check this out. You see what that dot is? Pixel 8 Pro. Look. It's got the microphone. There we go. Right down there, that little dot. And then your 5G antenna up top. Pretty similar. It's just it looks like this phone that I have in my hand. It's just the 9, the one that's good, that's leaked, gonna be flatter on the sides, obviously smaller, but just design language wise. And let's see, what else do I have? Similar photos. Damn, they need to keep their phones clean. Look at that, all that smudge up there. Now, this is the Pixel 9 Pro on the left. I think we already saw this, no? And then, yeah, well, I think it was paired with another photo in the previous one, but yeah. Google Pixel 9 Pro on the left. iPhone 15 Pro Max on the right. Just to give you a size comparison, remember, the iPhone 15 Pro Max on the right has a 6.7-inch display. The Pixel 9 Pro, that's soon to be released, on the left-hand side has got a 6.1-inch display. Doesn't look all that much smaller. No, those iPhones are pretty damn big, but I would like to see how thin they are. Interesting. You know, would that be a Google employee's phone? I guess we'll never know. But why is there plastic on the top? I think this was stolen. I think somebody stole it. Because why would it have plastic? If it was a Google employee's phone and they're using it to test it, which they always do. Always do. If you go to Apple offices, well, they're probably more secretive. But if you go to Google offices, headquarters, their Pixel division, Samsung, damn, let's see. Okay, no more photos. Sorry. That was the last one. Yep. Okay. So that's a good look at the Pixel 9. Look. Again, not sure if it's a Google employee's phone who would have a plastic wrap around their phone. Maybe it was stolen from a I don't know. Who knows? But somebody gonna get in trouble if that serial number gets leaked. But it won't. But now what we do need to see still is the Pixel 9 Pro XL, which would be same design language, same look, same everything as the one we're looking at now, except it'll be the same size as the iPhone next to it. Again, Pixel 9 Pro, small Pro, 6.1 inch screen. Pixel 9 Pro XL, 6.7 inch screen, same as the iPhone 15 Pro Max you see up there. So we're missing the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and we're also missing the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, if that's what they're landing on as far as names. But we have seen leaks of that device. Looks pretty similar, right? Even the Fold, if you have it closed, if you're looking at it from the back, it's gonna look pretty damn. Well, I take that back. The cameras, same design as the cameras, just a little different, if you know what I mean. If you've seen one, you know what I mean. Do I have I'm not gonna waste time looking for pictures of the Fold. We've discussed that quite a bit on here, but it's not gonna look similar to last year's Fold. It's going under a pretty significant design change. They're changing the dimensions of the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, the thickness of it, the weight. They're going to put a new screen on there. From what I hear, they're putting a new hinge on there, but it's still not going to be a flat display when opened. But look, it's going to be a badass phone. And I've always said I didn't get the Pixel Fold. I wanted to, but I didn't, because I always know the very first model of something always tends to have some sort of issues with it. Whatever it is, a car, a watch, a phone, right? Even a train, even the space shuttle. That's why when they launched it in space, they were on like Gen 8 or 9 in design, because the first few, always something wrong with it, right? Until you fine tune it and you put out a really good product. So that's why I always stayed away from the very first models of something, right? Example, Pixel Fold, I didn't get because I knew it was going to have some issues. Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I probably will get, right? But we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be expensive, but it's going to look similar to this one when it's closed, just with a slightly different camera hump on the back. But it'll have the much needed upgraded CPU. No more falling behind on the Tensor release schedule, release date, what have you. They will release this year's Pixel Fold with the latest and greatest Tensor CPU that Google has to offer. Now, we're going to try last year. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. I know I had it here somewhere. Alright, I don't have it. I was looking for the email that my Google rep sent out to us last year for the launch of the Pixel 8 series. Couldn't go last minute type of deal. But this year, I plan on going to the launch. Now, assuming they still invite me, I think they would. I haven't shit on Google too bad about too much stuff. We're huge Pixel fans over here. Hashtag Team Pixel, and are officially Pixel or team members or whatever the hell they call it. I'm having a huge brain fart today, so apologize about that. But I believe they will invite us this year again, and I do plan on going. I blocked off that 2 weeks in October, mid-October, to make sure that I'll be available to get on a plane. I think it's going to be in San Francisco this year. It's either that or New York, right? But I think it's San Francisco because they have a big corporate office in New York. Google does that. I think they released they flip-flopped, right? So it was either last year or the year before they had the official launch in New York, and then either last year or the year before they had their official launch in San Francisco. So either one, I'm going to try to go because it's going to be a big year, especially with the Fold. It may be a good chance to check out what am I talking about? That is the best opportunity to check out the Fold. So we should get some good content there. We're going to go to CES at the beginning of next year, and we're going to go. Well, I would like to. I don't think I will, but probably have to wait another year to go to the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Spain. Who knows? I might go this upcoming year, but I got to go to the launch of the Pixel and CES. Now, it is a big launch for Pixel. Obviously, they're changing design language. Well, I wouldn't say changing. It's weird because it's just the little subtle changes make the biggest difference when you're looking at it. This phone is beautiful, like absolutely a work of art. And I really hesitate to say that, even though it rolled off my tongue pretty easily. I don't necessarily like gushing over phones because there's a lot we don't know, right? Look, the Pixel 7 series came out, and everybody was excited for that. And a lot of users had a lot of bugs as far as this wouldn't work, or it would overheat, or this or that. Pixel 8 came along, everything seems to be great. Pixel 9, hopefully everything's great, but just from the looks, the aesthetics, the design language, they hit a home run. If they hit a freaking home run. Absolutely beautiful. Now, you can dog them, Google, made by Google, for jumping on the flat side, for them jumping on that train too late, or a year too late. Because look, iPhone notoriously has had that, and they evolved too, right? Because look, going back to the iPhone, well, shit, all of them, right? Even back to the 3S. Y'all remember the S series? The 4S. Remember the 5C? That little rinky-dink iPhone? All of them had curved sides. When I say sides, curved sides, meaning if you look at the phone, it's relatively curved on the sides. iPhone, what was it? Was it 12 or 13? They switched to flat sides. I think it was 13. So they eventually went to flat sides, and they were stuck on that, and no Android manufacturer came close. Now, there was one phone, and I was going to get it, but there was one of those Chinese manufacturers, but they release flagship devices every 6 months. So as soon as you buy one of their devices, a new one's coming out in a couple months, right? But I cannot think of another Android phone that had flat sides. And then boom, Nothing comes out with their Nothing Phone 1. Holy crap, what a freaking gorgeous phone. Just the design, it won all sorts of design awards. But what do you know? It had flat sides. The first, in my opinion, it's the first mainstream, even though Nothing probably wasn't mainstream when they released their first device. And you may struggle to call them mainstream right now, right? But they are. They came out with their flat sides. I'm taking down a flat side memory lane. And then what do you know? Phone 2, same thing. Completely flat sides where you can stand this up on the side of the phone and it will not fall over. Flat sides. And then obviously their phone 2A, they just released flat sides. I love the look. I love the design. Even though technically a rounded sided phone should fit in your hand better, right? Because your hand, when you hold the phone, is rounded. Your hand is not squared. But in my opinion, it feels better with the square phone, with these square sides, because you can tell where it is in your hand. And it's all personal preference, right? Y'all may hate it, and that's totally fine. I love it, the flat sides. And then Samsung comes out with their S24 series flat sides. What do you know? And I had a hunch Google was going to make this move at some point, but I didn't know when. I thought they were going to go to the flat sides on the Pixel 10 series, to be completely honest with you. So when we got our first leak of these Pixel 9 series with flat sides, my head was blown. Yes, the sooner the better. Now with the Pixel 10, I'm putting all my chips in with Google on the Pixel 10 series. Maybe asking why the Pixel 10 is still like a year and a half away. What's so good about that one, right? It's relatively far in the future. That is when, and I might be completely wrong, but that is when I think Google's Pixel phone, when it launches, will either take a huge swing, will take a huge increase, not only in sales, but I'm just in general, in the number of people using Pixel, in the performance of the Pixel devices, or are they going to just kind of slowly increase, just kind of plateau on some kind of plane out to the middle of space that we really don't know which way they're going to go? There's pressure on these big manufacturers to pump out big numbers. Now, Google, obviously their Pixel line is not their bread and butter when it comes to revenue. Newsflash, they depend on software, advertising money. That's where they get their billions and billions of dollars. Pixel line, maybe $1 billion, maybe. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, look, if Google dropped Pixel tomorrow and never made one more tablet, not one more router, if they dropped their hardware department tomorrow, they'd be completely fine. Man, they just would. But they've made subtle strides in the development of the Pixel line over the years. And we go back to the very first Pixel. That's why they wanted to create a Pixel line, is to have a more premium flagship. To have something Android fans or Android users can actually hold next to an iPhone and say, oh, yeah, you have an iPhone? Well, I got a Pixel. It's one of those things. Now, the Pixel 10, the biggest change in the Pixel 10 series is going to be their CPU. We mentioned it on 2 episodes ago, and I won't go down this long road. How much time do we got? So the Pixel 10, hang on. been talking for an hour and 15 minutes straight, so I gotta take a sip of water every now and then. Pixel 10 is where I put all my chips in with Google. I'm not going to repeat everything I mentioned, but going back to the CPU is the main reason why I make that statement. They stopped using Qualcomm as a chip provider, a CPU provider for that powers their Pixel devices. They chose to go their own route back with the Pixel 6. They had a vision just as Apple did, right? A lot of people can make fun of Google for a lot of their moves. I'm not going to say kind of copycat what Apple has done, but I will say probably mirrored, right? Some of the strategy, some of the business models as far as when it comes to devices that Apple has they're going down the same roads that Apple has done, and you can you can criticize them for doing that, but on the other hand, you cannot, as much as somebody does not like Apple, as much as I like to troll Apple, trust me, I get a lot of enjoyment out of trolling iPhone users. You have to give them credit, right? If I'm gonna run an honest YouTube channel here, if I'm just gonna be an honest person, right? I'm not trying to hide or do or say anything that I'm not, or I believe or I don't believe. You have to give Apple credit. What they've done is, in the mobile phone, mobile electronics, mobile technology world, is nothing short of amazing. They sell damn near 100 million iPhones every year. I mean, it's staggering. So me not giving them credit would make me look like a douchebag or some kind of stuck-up tool or Android believer or user. I'm not that. I'm a realist, right? So, sure, taking some of what they do. Look, if it makes you better as a company, if it makes you better as a person, like who has a good workout regimen? Tiger Woods, not his personal life. I'm talking about his the way he handles his body, right? His physical, how he treats. He has a notorious workout regimen, right? Probably the most fit golfer in history. Well, not probably, he is. Why wouldn't I take something from his game, right? If you're Kobe Bryant, why wouldn't you take something from Michael Jordan's game and implement it into yours to make you better? You can't stop people from saying that you stole something from Apple, and they didn't steal anything from Apple. Them putting flat sides on a phone, you're not stealing that from Apple. You're not making a carbon copy of an iPhone. Sorry. Look, they tried going down those roads years ago. Apple suing Samsung suing Apple for patent infringements and all this stuff. The judges threw that out. Like, I don't want to hear this. Like, they're freaking phones. Unless you make a carbon copy of a iPhone or a carbon copy of a Samsung phone, get out of here with all this, So, going back to the CPU, they wanted to manufacture their own CPU, right? As Apple is doing, because it gives you way more benefits, way more pros than cons. Full control over the CPU. You do not have to purchase a part from another company or manufacturer, and then if you want to make tweaks here or there down the road, something that's off the roadmap from the part supplier, where they have to now, oh man, it's such a hassle, change this or change that, or do little twist people's arms to make some changes down the road. Perfect example is the update schedule. The reason why Google has, and all these Android manufacturers, well, specifically Google, has made they've started supporting their devices longer and longer and longer, is because they know they're not going to have to change the source code or the kernels down the road, or Qualcomm's going to stop supporting these kernels. So that means we're going to have to stop supporting updates for this phone. No, Google could technically support their Pixel 10 for 20 years if they want to. Way more benefits, including revenue. You don't have to buy a whole part from another manufacturer. Google will manufacture 100% of their own CPU, starting with the Pixel 10. But I know what you're thinking. Pixel 10, but don't they already have the Google Tensor? Yes, they do. However, it's basically a Samsung CPU. So when they left Qualcomm, they had a vision of making their own CPU. But those things take forever. They've been working on this for like 7 years. So what did they do? What's the next best choice? Well, you got a number of options. What they did is they went to Samsung, or Samsung approached them and said, hey, we have our Exynos processor. It's proven. We've been building it for years, 10, 12 years. Not the best, but it is what it is. So the Tensor chip that's in the Pixel now is basically an Exynos CPU. Let's keep it real. Google does as much as they can, and they slap their label on it, the Google logo on there, and name it a Tensor chip, but it's an Exynos processor. It's probably 80% Samsung, 20% Google right now. But Google's contract with Samsung to supply them with the Tensor chip, it runs dry. The contract ends after the Pixel 9 launch. After the Tensor G4 CPU is launched, the contract is over with Samsung. So Google has been working very vigorously in the background to get this next their official CPU, literally from the ground up, will be 100% Google, just as Apple. That's where I believe you're going to see the biggest jumps in performance, the biggest jumps in AI, the biggest jumps in machine learning, battery life, I believe, hopefully the temperatures. I haven't had any overheating issues with this phone, and let's hope it continues that way. But that's why I say Pixel 10, all my chips are in. That's when I think it's really going to take off. Now, it'll be interesting to see what design they go with for the 10 series, because I thought we were going to see, like what we're looking at now with the Pixel 9, I thought that was going to be the Pixel 10, right? I thought that's what the 10 was going to look like. I had expected Google to go to the flat sides. As I mentioned earlier, I just didn't think it would be this early. Who knows? They may just tweak a little something here or there, or they may keep it the same like Apple does. If they do that, it is what it is. I always troll Apple for keeping the same iPhone for years and not updating it. I wouldn't be I wouldn't mind, because it looks so good. Just don't keep that same Pixel, that same design for like 3 or 4 years. Like, you're gonna have to eventually start changing something. Look, Samsung for the S25, totally new redesigned model. You know, Samsung's had this look for their S22, same design, S23, same design, S24, same design. S25, they're wiping the board clean, and they're going to come in with a brand new looking phone. So it will not look like this. So I think that's the sweet spot. Maybe 3, maybe 4 years of the same design, and you got to change it. Now, you can tweak it a little bit in between those 3 or 4 years, but I think after 4 years, customers start to get tired of seeing the same stuff, right? Apple, perfect example. When are they going to change their design? We have no idea. The iPhone 16, even the 17 is going to look the same. We got Jesus Christ. We got iPhone 16 leaks. It's going to look exactly the same as the 12, 13, 14, 15. 17, we have very, very, very early, not leaks, but renderings, and that's even a stretch. Looks exactly the same. So I don't know. They're on. Look, that's the thing. Business is going so well for Apple and iPhone. If your sales numbers are astronomically high every year, why change a thing? That's probably what they're saying in the boardrooms. Why are we changing this? We just sold 84 million iPhones last year. Why are you suggesting an iPhone that looks completely different? Yeah, they have a point. They get dogged about it a lot, but if they're selling a gazillion of them a year, why change it? It would be funny if they stuck on that iPhone for that same design for like another 10 years. Interesting, yes. Let's see. Yours is running out of storage too, right? Yeah, 128. Are you gonna get? I know Caleb said. Where is it? Caleb right here said he's got 128 and his is running really low. He's planning on getting a 512 gig next time. Are you? You're gonna upgrade your storage, but are you gonna make the jump? Are you going to make the jump from 128 to 512? Or are you going to do 128 to 256? Are you going to make it a slow increase, or are you just going to go for it? Because depending on how long you keep your phone, I would say go with the bigger storage variant. But look, it's up to you, all right? Everybody's different. But if you hold on to them for a year or two, now look, do we know the official storage variants? We don't. Now some, like Samsung, I think they went away with 128. In fact, I know they did. I was just thinking the base model S24. I think that might still, the small one, the base S24, the cheapest one you can buy, I think still has a 128 gig. But everything else, does not come with a 128. See, they might do that where the stock... Well, no, because that was a Pixel 9 Pro. They probably will have 128 gig as the base, 256, 512, and hopefully they come out with 1 terabyte. Give me a second. Sorry. Pixel 10 is going to change the smartphone industry forever. It definitely has a chance. I don't know, and I take that back. I was just going to say, I don't know if anybody can compete with Apple. Now, I'm talking about on a sales, right? Sales. Yeah, I got 3 phones in front of me that I believe are better than the best iPhone. But when it comes to sales, I was just gonna make a statement saying I don't know if anybody will ever catch up and or beat Apple. But I shouldn't say that. As much as I believe it's a long shot, anything can happen. Now. It's not going to be tomorrow, not going to be next year. But what about 5 years from now? What about 10 years from now? What if Apple gets slapped with they're already getting sued by the federal government. But what if they get stranger things have happened? What if the government splits up Apple and they say, hey, you got to sell your iPhone division? Yeah, you know, like I mean, probably won't, but I'm just saying. Saying it will never happen is probably not a smart thing to say, because anything is possible. But it just goes to show you that's how many. What Apple's doing is pretty staggering when it comes to retail, when it comes to sales, when it comes to companies, period, right? Pretty staggering. But I think the Pixel 10 is when everything is going to change for Google. I think that's when the sale. Because I say that because here's what I think. I think their new CPU, the one that they're going to have full control over, the Tensor G5, I think that we're going to see enormous performance boost. Because as we're going right now, you'll see slight performance over last year's, right? Like the Tensor, what was it? The Tensor G1, the Tensor G2 saw a slight performance bump over the G1. The G3 saw a slight performance boost over the G2. Now, with this year's Pixel 9 and the G4 Tensor chip, I think it's going to be right on par. You're going to see a slight improvement over this year's Tensor G3. But I think now that they have full, and now look, these don't blow you away performance-wise. If you look at a benchmark score from a flagship Pixel to a flagship Samsung blows it away. Same thing with the Apple, blows the Pixel away. I think we're going to see a huge performance boost where it's not going to be laughable. Because as much as I try to explain some things to people that dog on Google for the low performance of their Tensor CPUs, as much as I try to explain to people that that's when Google's not out for the, they're not looking out. Google's not looking to win awards for the highest benchmark scores of any smartphone. Google's not into that. They're into a CPU that it does perform well. It's not the highest scoring, but they're okay with that as long as it performs well enough. But what they want to see is really good machine learning, on-device learning, AI. They want to implement all the cool stuff they're doing on the side, right, all over these other apps. They want everything to merge the CPU to be powerful enough to handle all this cool stuff that's going on, all the magic that's going on. However, I am one to believe that the Pixel 10 CPU is where not only they have the AI stuff and the machine learning stuff, they got all that, they're good on that. But I think the Pixel 10 and the Tensor 5 is when their CPU is really going to battle. Apple is really going to battle Samsung neck and neck for best performing CPU. And then you throw all the cool AI stuff. In another year and a half, we'll have much cooler AI stuff. I know it's kind of fizzled out here in the last 3 or 4 months, maybe 6 months. But there's some really cool stuff right around the corner. Hell, you could say we haven't even scratched the surface of AI that's about to come here in these next year or twos or threes. And I believe that. I think the AI that we have now that everybody's advertising, it's not really AI. I think we have a lot cooler, a lot better performing real AI is yet to come. And I think Google is about to merge all that cool machine learning, all that cool artificial intelligence with a badass top of the line performing CPU. If they make that happen, that's when the Pixel line will take off into the stratosphere. And with that being said, it's that time, folks. I've been talking for 90 minutes straight. It's it's what I love to talk about, but I haven't eaten anything today, so life gets in the way of technology sometimes. So check it out. But I really appreciate you joining me today. Join me tomorrow. We will do a giveaway. I'm gonna mail off the I'm gonna mail off the routers that some viewers won this week. I'm gonna get those out tomorrow. And Crave, look at all these cases. I'm gonna start posting reviews of. Look at this. Crave cases. Yes. And actually, look. One's missing. Why is it missing? Because I actually use these cases. When I do case review, we do hands down the best case reviews on YouTube. Hands down. The very best. And it's because of a couple things. For one thing, I love cases as an accessory. I was actually going to make my own case company a few years ago, but then I found out what a hurdle it would have been. Probably would have wasted a ton of money, but that's how much I love cases. I was going to make my own case company. I actually use the cases. So when a case company sends me, or any company sends me anything to review, I actually use it. I know that's kind of unheard of today in YouTube world, tech world. But look, a lot of these go when I'm done here in just a second, go pull up any video. S24 Spigen case review. Watch what they do. They'll pull the case out of the box. They'll put it on the phone, talk about it for a few minutes, and then peace out. Maybe a promo code here or there. I actually use these cases, so I'll actually put them on my phone, use them for a few days, a week, and then I'll do a review. Because there's been times where I'll use a case, and then this is not Crave that I'm talking about. This was another. I think it was a third-party case. I can't remember, some off AliExpress. But I started using the case, and right where I would hold the phone, it was on my flip. Right where I would hold the phone, because sometimes I'll hold my phone like this, right? I'll put my pinky down there so it can support the phone, right? So it doesn't slide out. So I put my pinky down, where am I at? Down here, a lot of the times. I'll even do it subconsciously when I'm not even thinking about it. But there was a case that I was using on a Z Flip 5 that would really, really, really hurt my finger, my pinky finger, after a couple days of using it. And it took me a while to figure it out. Man, what the hell is going on? Well, the mold where they actually make the case and in the manufacturing plant, and where they separate it. So a lot of times, sometimes these case companies will make these cases individually. Sometimes they'll make them on a rack, right, like a purveyor belt. But a bunch of them they'll be connected, and like 10 or 20 cases in a row will be connected onto the next part of the manufacturing process. And then at some point they'll cut each case, so they, instead of going from a 10 to 20 long chain of them, they'll be individually cut into a individual case. Well, where they cut it was poking into the bottom of my pinky finger. And it became really annoying, and it actually hurt after using that case for a few days. Not Crave, talking about, again, a cheap case from AliExpress. But it's little things like that. So what if I did not use that case for a few days, a week? What if I was like all the other YouTubers, where they get a case in the mail, and then they basically hit record, pull it out, look at it, put it on the phone, look at it, and then that's it? You would want to know, right, that after using it for a few days, it hurt the hell out of your pinky finger. It actually put a little indent on my pinky finger. Y'all would want to know that, right? I mean, I would. So that's a perfect example of how not only we do the very best case reviews, and it just comes down to the simple fact that we use cases. We love technology. Again, comes down to being honest. If you know, like with that case. Now, thank goodness, going back to the point of the story, thank goodness I used it for a few days, or however, 5 days before I did the video, because I would have suggested the case. Oh yeah, it's cool. It's looks good, real stylish, this and that. You know, okay, drop protection. But then it bothers half the people that buy it, right? Like, that wouldn't make me feel good. So there's little things like that. Little things like that. And our case reviews are very detailed. So if you're a case manufacturer, if you're anybody, if you have a product and or a service that you would like us to potentially, and I say potentially, promote, and or if you would like to sponsor this live stream or any of the other segments or videos that we have, give me a holler. Or my contact info is down in the description box below. I actually put my channel stats. I know, again, it's probably never find this on any other YouTube channel or tech YouTube channel. I actually put my stats, like my analytics, in the description box below. Now, why do I do that? For people that potentially want to advertise with us or sponsor something. But I don't accept everybody. I don't promote stuff or feel comfortable suggesting to the viewership stuff that I'm not confident in. Last thing I want to do is recommend a product or service that's just flat out shitty. That's not a good deal, or it's taking advantage of you, the viewer. I'm not into that. So I'm very selective too. In fact, I was just looking at my email list. What was it, 2 days ago? Well, I look at it every day, but 2 days ago, I was thinking, holy crap, I have so many people reaching out for this and that, and I mean, stuff you would never even think that would go on a YouTube channel. A technology YouTube channel. But if it makes sense for the company, if it makes sense for me, if it makes sense for you, then I'll present it, right? If it doesn't, I won't. It's just that simple. But anyways, if you have a product or service that you potentially might want myself or the channel to put on display, let me know. My contact information is in the description box below. Channel analytics are in the description box below. I'm going to get out of here. It's been about almost 2 hours. Woo. 2 hours of pixel talk. Oh yeah. Okay. Tomorrow, I can promise you, it probably won't be 2 hours of pixel talk. I got a lot of Crave cases that I'm gonna record and upload, and then we'll find other stories to talk about. Right? I'm sure there's plenty out there because I only did one story today, so that means I got plenty more for y'all tomorrow. Oh, and a giveaway tomorrow. At this point, I'm just repeating myself, so I'm going to get out of here. But appreciate the time. Please be safe. Have a eventful but safe Friday evening. And we'll see everybody around this time tomorrow. Peace out.